What a wild and historic day. If you thought the president was coming out half stepping, you were mistaken. Wow. 185 countries, a baseline of 10%. And then you have countries like China with the new reciprocal tariff stacked on top of what they already have. They're sitting at 54%. I'm not going to dig too much into this. I want to wait to hear from the professionals. I'm no economist or global trade expert. But from what I see, the way this is set up, I think that baseline is a starting negotiation, and you will see that come down to a level that's more reasonable than 10%. But I think we're going to have higher tariffs than the average before this. And of course, those top line numbers as well, those reciprocal tariffs, they'll either come off completely or be lowered to a greater degree, depending on what kind of deals that we see happen. And I think we will see a lot of deals happen. And that can be bullish for cryptocurrencies, is a lot of this risk comes off the table. If we get some of these trade deals done, you're going to see this space take off, but there's a lot of risk in the interim. We can see a lot of extreme volatility, a lot of fear out there. Just understand, we're walking into the lion's den here, but I think we'll come out victorious. It may take a little bit of time. I mean, 185 countries, that's not going to be solved in a day. We'll look at some stats here and some stories about that once we go through the crypto stuff, if that interests you. But that's the way I see it. You're going to see that 10% baseline come down to something reasonable, but long term. And most of those top line numbers will come off or be settled down to something much more reasonable. And we'll end up with a lot of better trade deals. But the question is, how much pain do we have to endure before we get there? Only time will tell. Could be very, very, very quick. Could take a while. Now, the first news here, just in, Ripple integrates RLUSD stablecoin into their cross-border payment system. To be honest, I didn't know they weren't already doing this. I figured they probably were. We see Ripple's USD market cap for their stablecoin now reached $244 million, growing 87% over the past month, and month transfer volume hitting $860 million. Now, I know a lot of people out there, the purists, will say, oh man, this is awful. They should be using XRP for everything. Look, I want Ripple to be successful with payments. And I think for a lot of these payments, a stablecoin is better. And if that helps them dominate the payment industry, I'm all for it. Like, let's go out there, let's use blockchain for real purposes, and let's really grow and scale that payment service they have, because they're going to do a lot of stuff with the XRP ledger, and the bigger, more powerful, more market cap they reach, and the more really of the market they capture, well, it's going to bleed back to the XRP ledger. They're still going to use XRP. XRP is still useful. Stablecoins do not replace traditional cryptocurrencies. XRP is a lubricant that makes that financial engine run. But again, if you can do the job better with a stablecoin and some of these payments, maybe a lot of these payments, that's fine. Do whatever's best. Because if you don't, if you want to, control the narrative and only use XRP because you think that's going to do something for you, it's not going to work well because your competitors are going to use the better systems anyway. So to me, this is bullish. I just want to see Ripple capture market share. And XRP, it's going to have its place. It's going to have its utility, and it's going to be used, and it's going to grow in value. And we'll use it where it is best and most capable to be used, where it has the most utility. And where stablecoins are better, we'll use it there. To me, this is a big deal. Now, it was announced Kraken is now listing RLUSD. That's been one of the things I've been talking about. I want to see more listings for RLUSD. It's now available to be traded on Kraken. I believe, at least starting now, it's only Ethereum. So hopefully they also open that up to the XRP Ledger variant as well. And I think they will over time. This is important. Kraken, Ripple, they've had a shaky relationship at times. Of course, their original CEO, Jesse Powell, he had a falling out with Chris Larson at one point in time, some arguments over that original investment. But I hope they mend things here, and I think they will. If you haven't noticed, Kraken Exchange is an affiliate of mine, linked down below. I use them for my corporate account. Really like Kraken Exchange a lot. And I think you're going to see more symbiotic kind of deals done with Ripple and Kraken. And it's interesting because the other big U.S. exchange, of course, is Coinbase, but they have their own stablecoin product, USDC, that they really push hard. And they might not be as willing to list RLUSD, but if you have a competitor and we start to get traction with this stablecoin, well, it's going to push their hand. They might just have to list that coin, and it will help us grow. So this is good. Land a big U.S. partnership here, and hopefully get that XRP Ledger variant on there, and I think we'll do quite well. That's a big, a big partnership there. or at least a big listing. Let's call it that. Just in, Sony. Remember, they're building an Ethereum layer too. They've partnered with crypto.com. Also impressed with the work they're doing to enable USDC payments on the Sony store online. So we're going to continue to see this happen. The integration of blockchain technology with major companies, Fortune 500 companies, S&P 500 companies, global companies, leveraging this for a real purpose. This is just one small step here, but you're going to see more of this. Accepting stablecoins, accepting cryptocurrencies, and we're going to be able to do that now because of the new environment, not just in the US, but globally. This is the time when we really start marching towards mass adoption and using blockchain as a tool, not just an investment option. For those of you that are linked to investors, Ray Fuentes just shared this today. Help Center is live with new announcement sections. Stay informed on key updates, platform changes, and more. So hopefully they're making some progress here, can get you some good information. I don't have any inside info, but I'll keep my eye out because I know a lot of you are investors on that platform. Your money's locked. Hopefully they can get by whatever issues they're trying to work out, and that can get up and running again, and you could be liquid with your investments there. As I see information, I will continue to share it with you. Crypto Eddie saying, very nice to see Hugo Fillon of Flare Networks is going to speak at the RippleX Dev Apex event in Singapore. And, that's good to see. There should be a lot of cross-pollination here. There's a lot the XRP Ledger can do for the Flare ecosystem and vice versa. It's good to see him speaking there, and I hope they do some building and some bridging and all sorts of stuff. Ripple, of course, an original investor in Flare, but they haven't really been working much together. And of course, Hugo's been focused just on Flare, but hopefully we're getting to that point where now, really these blockchains can work together to build something better than they can do individually. I think there's a lot of stuff where you link these together, whether it's bringing XRP over on F assets, or it's possibly at some point in time data flowing over from Flare into the XRP ledger. If we get to a point where we can have that, there's a lot here that can be done that will make both blockchains more valuable, and I'm glad to see he will be speaking at that event. We're seeing right now, because of everything that's going on in the world, this trade dispute hitting kind of maximum overdrive. Extreme fear hits crypto. Trump's Liberation Day tariff sends markets spiraling. The crypto fear and greed index just crashed to 25, diving 19 points in a single day, officially entering extreme fear territory. In some ways, this is best because we now know kind of where the starting point is. We're not just wondering. It's not this, everything just left up to your imagination. This is the starting point, and I think we'll get better from here. I don't think these tariffs are going to stay at this level. We'll start, working it down and landing agreements, and we'll end up in a better place. It's just a question of how long. We see tech stocks after hour, Robinhood down 10%. We have Palantir down 8%, Tesla 6%, Amazon 6%, Nvidia down 5%. We'll see what things look like, at the open. Sometimes after hour trading can be a little bit different, but I expect with something like that, we're going to have some wild times tomorrow as financial markets open. It's only a matter of time here. We will see for sure. But again, as this stuff starts getting solved, that could be a big catalyst for recovery in the stock market and a big catalyst that can send us soaring within crypto. Make no mistake, it's a dangerous time, but not insurmountable at all. President Trump says he's set to make the largest tax cut in U.S. history. That could be a big a catalyst there as well. JP Morgan saying 14 public Bitcoin miners lost 25% of their market value in March, $6 billion, their worst month ever in total there. So a little bit of pressure on your Bitcoin miners right now. Commerce Secretary predicts that Trump's tariffs won't be in place. Former Commerce Secretary predicts Trump's tariffs won't be in place on the back half of 2025 because other countries will rush to the negotiation table. Now, I don't know they're going to rush, at least not all of them. We may get in a tit for tat situation. That's what Mohammed El-Erian told us. We might come together and see some trade deals really quick, or it might be a process here. And depending on how long this takes, it could really cause a lot of disruption. We'll have to see it play out. He went on to say here, I assume that this will not be in place in a month, 2 months, definitely not in the back half of this year. So we could clear all this stuff or most of it within a month, or it could take a little longer, but probably not for the duration of 2025. Again, we just need a little bit of runway here in the crypto space. Hopefully, we don't lose too much value. We'll see it play out. So he says, I'm in the camp that this is the beginning of a big negotiation. It's not only about bringing back production, but also about market access. And we see this in other markets. China's like this, right? If you want access to their market, one of the biggest in the world, well, you got to make concessions. I think we'll do that, but to a much lower degree here. Makes a lot of sense. European Union, they're preparing further countermeasures against the newly assessed U.S. tariffs of 20%. This is where you could get in the back and forth. They raised 20%, we raise them another 10, and volume back and forth. We'll see. Hopefully, it's not too much retaliation, and hopefully, they negotiate a realistic end to all of this. Only time will tell. Just as all hopes of tariffs being less widespread than expected, some people were hoping for that. Well, they've been crushed with today's news. 185 countries. The Trump administration has been articulating this for months. Again, most people assume this was posturing for better deals, and it very well still may be, but it's game time now, right? The clock is ticking. How are we going to respond? President Trump doubled down on that view, raising tariffs on China a whopping 54%. That's a big one. 54%. I don't think that number will be like that for long. We'll have to see how it plays out. NASDAQ 100 set to open up more than 900 points lower. And the question is, what's next? And again, we just hope something doesn't catastrophically break here under the pressure in the near term. But I really feel that cooler heads will prevail here, that they will come together and they kind of know where they need to get, and we'll get there pretty quick. And we will see a lot of major, trade deals. It's not going to really be 185 separate ones. The big ones fall into place. The rest will be fine. And I think we just know it's going to be a little higher than our average tariff rate was before, but, probably a little more fair of a system for everyone involved. We'll see how it plays out. Let me know what you think down below. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.